Hey, I'm Dark North, hope you all are doing well. In this video, I'll be talking about how to build and play a Keqing Aggravate team. Starting with team composition, the most common one is Keqing plus Electro plus Dendro plus Flex. For building Electro characters for Aggravate teams, you want a balance of crit EM damage bonus, like from your goblet or from weapons, and any other stat that they scale with or need, like attack, energy recharge, etc. For Keqing and Aggravate, the best sets are 4-piece Thundering Fury for Aggravate damage bonus and reducing her skill cooldown so you can spam it, and her burst also has a lot of hits and can also aggravate and proc the 4-piece Thundering Fury passive, which will reduce her skill cooldown so you can basically skill, burst, and then skill again immediately. You'll be using her mostly for her skill and burst damage, and auto attack or charge to proc the 4-piece set to reduce skill cooldown to use it again. The second option is 4-piece Gilded Dreams, which gives a lot of EM and makes it a lot easier to balance the stats. 2-piece EM sets and 2-piece Thundering Fury is also fine. Make sure to level her to 90 as Aggravate will benefit from it significantly. Dendro characters build doesn't matter as much as they're here just for the Dendro application, so you can build them with either Deep Food or Gilded Dreams, it is up to you. So now let's talk about the team candidates, starting with the Electro Slot. Fischl is the best option because her Ascension 4 passive can be triggered when Keqing aggravates, and it can also aggravate itself and has no internal cooldown, so every hit of this passive will aggravate, so she adds a lot of damage to the team. Yemiko is also good for off-field electro damage. Lisa, built for Aggravate, is also good and also shreds 15% defense on top of that. Beidou is also an option for off-field electro damage, and you can also use Sarah. While she has no off-field damage, you can use her if you have her at C6, as the damage boost is pretty good. If you want healers, Kuki is one option. She's not as good in Aggravate as her multipliers are low, and she's better used in Hyper Boom teams with full EM, but you can use her here if you want to. Dori is also another option if you really need an electro healer. Raiden and Cyno would take a lot of on-field time, as such they're not as good in Keqing Aggravate teams. So now let's talk about the Dendro Slot. We have Nahida, who gives EM to the active character in her burst, which depends on how much EM you have on her, and is a significant boost for Keqing and any other electro DPS that you choose, especially if you don't have a lot of EM on them. She also has really good Dendro application and off-field damage that can also take advantage of Quicken and Spread. Dendro MC is also good as always as an off-field Dendro applier, and Dendro MC's passive also gives EM to the active character. Yao Yao is also actually really good as her Dendro application is okay and is very fast, though you don't really need it, as Quicken sticks for a while. The only disadvantage is it's not AoE. The biggest benefit being she is a Dendro healer, meaning if you use her, you don't have to take healers in your other slots. Kale is also a decent off-field Dendro, and Tainari also works fine with Keqing as he is very quick swappy. Al-Haytham requires too much on-field time and will compete for it with Keqing, so he's not as good in this team. So now let's talk about the flex. You can use Zhongli for all red, shred, shield, and petrify. You can use anima characters with 4-piece Iridescent to shred Electro, though depending on which Dendro character you use, or if you use 2, it might be difficult to swirl Electro consistently. So do try it out with your team first, and if you are unable to swirl consistently, consider using something else other than Animo, or change or use less Dendro characters. Kazuha's damage bonus does work with Aggravate, so he's pretty good, and both his C2 and Sucrose's EM transfer is also great for Aggravate. So now let's talk about the rotation. The actual rotation will differ based on what team you decide to make, but as a general idea, you want Keqing to go last, you want to use your Dendro characters, your second Electro, and then you want to use Keqing's skill, then burst, then skill, and then auto or charge to refresh the skill again, and use it again, and then you repeat the rotation. A good rough method to arrange rotations is to order them from characters with longest skill/burst durations to least skill/burst durations. So the rotation of the exact team I'm using right now is I start with Zhongli and use his skill to shred res, use Nahida's skill and then burst, then I use Fischl's Oz, either skill or burst, and then I go to Keqing and use her skill, burst, and then skill again, and then auto attack until I get the skill back and use it again. And that was how to build and play a Keqing Aggravate team. If you found this helpful, consider leaving a like, sub to the channel for more content like this. I'm Dark North, thanks for watching, have a good one.